Signs a guy likes you but is hiding it. What's up everyone, it's Sabrina Alexis from anewmo.com, and I am gonna tell you the signs that a guy likes you but is trying not to show it. First, why would he do that? Like, why? One thing I tell you guys a lot is that when a guy likes you, it's obvious. He'll do something about it. There are some exceptions. One could be if you guys work together, and that could get sticky. I mean, a guy could like you, but if you work together, he's gonna wanna be absolutely sure you're on the same page before he does anything about it. Because like, if you reject him, then that's super awkward and you still work together. It's also possible that he's just terrified of rejection. Maybe he just isn't very secure. He's like super insecure guy. It's also possible that you are super shy and maybe you're not giving him any green light signals. Maybe you want to be a little bit more confident that he likes you before you put yourself out there at all. So these are some of the variables we're working with. So if that's a situation you're in, I'm here to help, and I'm going to let you know exactly how to know that this guy secretly likes you, even though maybe he's not doing anything about it yet. Also, make sure to watch this video until the very end, because I'm going to give you the signs, but then I'm also going to tell you exactly what to do about it. So make sure you watch until the end. Real quick, if you like this video, find it helpful, if you like me as a person, please tap that like button. It's such an easy way to give back. I put so much into these videos and it takes less than a second. So I will give you a second to do that right now. And while you're clicking, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. Don't trust YouTube to just tell you. You have to ring that bell. Also, if you have ever found yourself asking, why is he doing this? I don't get it. Why isn't he texting me? Why isn't he asking me out? Why doesn't he want to be official? Why is he acting like this? Why is he withdrawing? Or even just asking, why are men like this? And I have good news, because we have a course that answers all these questions and so much more. It is called He's Not That Complicated. It was written by me and my partner on A New Mode, Eric. I mean, the title says it all. He's not that complicated. Men aren't that complicated. It's really us women that make them so complicated. So we break it all down. So if you want to understand exactly why men act the way they do, then check it out at understandhim.com, and I will link it down below. Okay, so number one, he initiates. You might notice that he is constantly trying to start conversations with you. Maybe he asks you things that he could ask anyone, especially if you work together. He might ask you things that aren't even in like your department, like that you don't even know about, but he asks you when he could have been asking other people. That's a big sign that he's into you. He's looking for ways to try to talk to you. He may also reach out to you, just wanting to share an article he came across or a funny TikTok video. Point is, if you notice that he's always finding ways to talk to you, then it's a sign he is totally interested in you. Number two, he's always around. Here's the thing about when a guy likes a woman. He's just drawn to her. He just wants to be in the same part of the room that she's in, wants to be where she is. I mean, not in like a creepy stalkerish way. He just kind of naturally gravitates towards you. He may even go places where, he thinks you'll be. Like maybe you mentioned that you're going to the office happy hour, and then now all of a sudden he's going to when he wasn't planning on it. Stuff like that. Number three, he remembers things about you. This is like one of the biggest ways to know that someone is interested in us. If you find like there's a guy and you're just always having the same conversations over and over. He's like, oh, right, what do you do again? Oh, that's so interesting. And you're like, I told you this the last time that we spoke. So that is like a huge sign that a guy is either, number one, just a charmer and really charismatic, or that he really likes you. Because when we like someone, it lights up parts of our brain. Actually, like our brains completely act differently around people that we like and are drawn to and are attracted to. And he will be more likely to remember things about you. Because think about how memory works. We remember things that are important, things that matter. And if you're someone that's important, if he thinks that, okay, I am going to be using this information more in the future because this is somebody that I really like and I think is going to be in my life, then he will be more likely to remember it. So he might remember that it was just your dog's birthday. He might remember what you majored in college. I mean, just notice if like he just remembers these things that you've told him, that you guys have talked about. Number four, he's nervous around you. I mean, when we like someone, this is natural. We get nervous. Our voice shakes a little, or the pitch changes. You might notice he's super fidgety. He might not know like what to do with his hands, and they're in his pocket and they're here, and then they're just kind of hanging like he forgot how to use his hands. You'll just notice that he's extra nervous. It could just be he's like a nervous, fidgety type of guy. So you have to pay attention to the way he interacts with other people versus the way he interacts with you. When a guy's nervous, like our bodies betray us in these situations, like you can only keep your cool for so long. You really need to have total mastery over your emotions and your physical body to be able to not show like when you're nervous. Number 5, he follows your social media accounts and pays close attention. Now, again, like you have to take these things in context. Some people are just not into social media, and I envy those people. I feel like they're all a lot happier than the rest of us. What do you guys think? Just kidding, kind of. You know, if he follows you on social media, he's gonna pay attention. One story I tell, I mean, before my husband asked me out for the second time around, for those who don't know, we dated in high school, 10 years went by, reconnected. The first thing I noticed was he started liking my social media posts, which he had never done before. You know, like he had never paid attention, and he started liking. And I remember I was on a trip to Italy with a friend of mine, and I noticed he was liking my pictures, and I was like, that's it. He likes me again. He's going to ask me out. And she thought I was being delusional because I had thought that so many times in the past. I think in the past it was more like wishful thinking. Like anytime we'd cross paths, I'd be like, oh, he's going to ask me out again. We're going to get together. And then we never did, until we finally did. Anyway, the first thing he did was he started paying attention to my social media, and then eventually asked me out, and here we are. But the point is, like, if he likes you, he's gonna wanna know everything about you. And where do we go when we wanna know about somebody? To their social media pages, of course. So he'll you know, engage with your content, he'll comment, he might bring up things in conversation like, oh, that trip you took to Costa Rica looked amazing. He'll just be paying attention to what you're up to. And if he isn't like making comments about your social media, I mean, and you notice he is like watching your stories all the time, then like, you know what's up. Number 6, he stares at you a lot. This is just a natural body language tell. When we like something, we stare at them. When we're drawn to them, we stare. That's what we do. So if you catch him like looking your way a little too often, then you know that he is interested in you. And at the very least, he's attracted to you. Number 7, he wants to know your entire life story. This goes back to the point I mentioned earlier. When we like someone, we just can't get enough. We want to know everything about them. And he's interested. I mean, you have to look at the way that he, like his mannerisms when he's speaking to you. Is he locked in? Is he engaged? Is he really paying attention? If so, it means that he is interested. Number 8, he tries to impress you. I mean, this is just a guy thing. If a guy likes a girl, he's gonna want to impress her. He wants you to admire him. So he might mention his accomplishments to you. He might find ways to humble brag or overtly brag. He wants to, you know, make you laugh. So he brings his best material, you know, when you're talking, try to get you to laugh. Either way, if he likes you, he is gonna try to impress you. Number 9, he wants to know your relationship status. Now, if he's trying to hide that he likes you, he's gonna do this in a subtle way. You know, he might say something like, oh yeah, like your boyfriend must love you, must love that about you, or something like that, something subtle, so that you'll be like, oh no, I don't have a boyfriend. So look to see if he's kind of like trying to take the temperature on the situation, see what your status is. And if you and him have a lot of mutual friends, he might just ask one of your mutual friends like what your story is and if you're dating anyone. And if he does that, then it's like obvious because he wants to date you. Number 10, he doesn't talk to you about other girls. When a man really likes you, he's not gonna talk to you about other girls. I mean, only a super immature man would do this to make a girl jealous. And if that's what he's doing, I mean, I don't know if you want to be involved with this guy. But if he likes you, he's not going to want to ruin his chances with you. So he's not going to be talking to you about other girls. And I don't know if you're on our email list, but one of the emails is a funny story that I went through. There's this guy, he was cousins with my roommate at the time. And we had like a really strong attraction to each other. It was just obvious that a relationship would never work out between us. But we like would flirt every single day, but it wouldn't go past that. And then he started talking to me about other girls. And I was like, oh, it's because like he likes me and he's trying to make me jealous. And I like created this whole story in my mind, but then like he started actually dating one of those other girls. So sometimes it turns out like the simplest explanation is the correct one. And in this case, you know, he's just a guy that, you know, was attracted to me. I was attracted to him, didn't want to date me. And so he was just treating me like a friend. And he would talk to me about these other girls because he genuinely wanted advice. And then I gave him advice and he ended up having a relationship with one of them. Number 11, he jokes about being your boyfriend or being married. I mean, I've noticed my guy friends used to do this with me back in the day, you know, just to take the temperature, like to see like, okay, like would I have a chance with this girl? So he might joke like, oh, we're so similar. Yeah, we should just get married someday. And he might be saying it to see your reaction. Like, are you horrified? Do you seem kind of like, oh yeah, like that would be great. That would be fun. So that's just kind of like a jokey way of seeing like how you feel about him. And number 12, if you are a regular at a new mode, you already know what I'm going to say before I say it. So do you know what it is? Number 12, it's obvious. The fact is when a guy likes you, unless he's like the best actor in the entire world, unless he's really trying not to show you at all, it will be obvious on some level. Now here's where it gets tricky. It gets tricky when a guy can like you and be attracted to you, but just not want to date you. Maybe he just thinks that, oh, a relationship just wouldn't work out for whatever reasons. That's a possibility too. And that's where so many women get confused because they're like, oh, he's doing all these things, but like he's not asking me out. In those cases, it could just be a case of he likes you, he just doesn't like you enough. Okay, so what is the solution? What do we do here? If you sense that he likes you, You can put yourself out there a little bit, go out on a little limb, like maybe suggest hanging out, like mention, like I wouldn't say that you should ask him out. Like don't do that. But I think that you can put yourself out there enough to give him the room to come to you and know that he won't be rejected. Like you're talking about a movie and you say, oh, I'm dying to see that. Like we should see that sometime. But then let him plan. Like don't say that and then say, so what's your schedule like? When are you free? Da, da, da. You know, like you threw the idea out there and then see what he does. If you don't want to be that bold, that's fine too. With guys, all it really takes is smiling, showing appreciation, being warm, being receptive, being a little flirty. I think I have a whole video on how to flirt. I'll try to link that down below. And that should be enough, you know? Like if he really likes you and you're doing all of that, that should be enough to get him over this hump that he has of, you know, being worried about asking you out. If you do that and he's still not asking you out, then it just means he doesn't want to. Like maybe he's attracted to you, he's drawn to you, interested, he wants to look up with you, whatever, but he just doesn't like you enough. Because if he did, he would do something about it. I think it's a myth to say that, you know, women should never make the first move. Like you can make the first move, you can't make all the moves. You can't be the only one pursuing. You can put enough out there for him to want to latch onto, and then he can take it the next step further. And before you get angry about it, like it's just like the way it is, you know? Men are the hunters. They have to hunt. You have to give them something to hunt. You can't just like hand yourself right over to him. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this gave you clarity. If so, remember to tap that like button and leave a comment letting me know what you think if you have any questions. And if you just want to understand, why do men act the way they do? Like, I don't get it. What's going on with him? What's his deal? Then good news, men aren't that complicated. As the title of our system states, he's not that complicated. So if you want to check that out and find out that men are way more simple than we believe, then you can download it right now at understandhim.com. Link is down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.